The 16th of September 2025. This will be a rather short video, I promise you that. Roisin Murphy. Now, the Pope, as you know, has let it be known that he came to Ireland 20 years ago and he was attacked and somebody helped him out. He'd be a timid kind of a man. He was a bishop then. And I find that absolutely amazing because he came another time to Ireland. I'd say Dublin, but you wouldn't know. He doesn't give the exact detail, and we might find out more. Maybe somebody'd know underneath. But the fact is, the Pope, when he was a bishop over in Peru, came to Dublin sometime in the last 4 or 5 years, and he wasn't attacked at all. Sure enough, as I would expect, he was attacked on the second visit. Now, if you go to some of the country areas, you mightn't be attacked. I'm always watching what happens, but you mightn't be attacked. But if you live a long life, you will, and when you get old, they'll come in and they'll attack you. The fact of the matter is the Dublin Gardaí are not investigating crime, nor are they in Ireland, and it depends on who attacks you. If you're an immigrant and you're attacked, the guards will jail you for life. If you're an Irishman and you're attacked by an immigrant, they won't bother unless it goes like it did in Sligo with 2 homosexual men that was beheaded. They might sentence the person then, and we have to pay for them in jail with our taxes, okay, and employ people as prison warders when they could be doing something more useful. So I still say it is amazing that the Pope came once and wasn't attacked at all. My advice to people coming to Ireland, except maybe some of the rural areas, is go to an antique auction and buy one of those old World War II helmets. You know, those long German helmets. Now, the British helmet is very flat, but the German helmet comes down more. And have that, get it painted a nice colour and have a good strap, get a nice insert put in it, and wear that when you're out and about in the city. Have it with you. That means if they attack you, they'll not be able to hit you on the back of the head. So that'd be my advice. Dublin is not Dublin anymore. It's gone all crime and all multicultural in many ways. Now, funny enough, I'm not against the legal people coming here, and our Taoiseach consistently tell us, oh, we need these people to work. He doesn't know whether they can work or not. What skills have they? Nothing else. But there is a Romanian population around Dublin, and they bought a church at big money down in Leeson Park the other day. They bought a Protestant church. So they're Orthodox. They're Episcopal. They're very, very close to Catholics. Very close. But they're Episcopal apparently. But they bought the church and paid a huge money, and there was huge celebrations. Well, I have no problem with that. If they're going to work there and they're coming in, and if they're religious like that, they're hardly going to be attacking people. You must realise that it takes all sorts to make a world. In the immigration system, I would have decent people who had some reason for coming here would be allowed in, and we wouldn't be a total closed up shop. But the fact is, we're losing our best people. Our government is forcing them out. But I don't know, can I change that? Because these people that are going, if they get a vote, if they get a vote, they'll vote for Fianna Fáil and Fine Gael and Sinn Féin. We don't really know. When an Irish person, some Irish people go to Australia and they sleep, and you know that song, I'm like the exile, I dream of Spancel Hill. Last night as I lay dreaming of pleasant years gone by, my mind began to ramble, to Ireland I did fly. When I did stepped on board a vision. I heard that song so often. I heard the sort of vision, something, and I arrived in Spancel Hill. The vision the young Irish have when they go abroad is getting back to vote for Fianna Fáil, Sinn Féin and Fine Gael. That's all that's in their head. And when the abortion referendum was called in Ireland, they took the 2 days off, and with the help of George Soros, they flew to Ireland, and how they got voting, I don't know, but they swung the abortion referendum, but that's the fact. So young Irish people that are watching me on this, if there are any, and I do have a few, don't forget, you will not change for Val Martin or anyone else. You'll be put out of your country, and you're too thick to understand that it's the likes of me that would keep you in your country. But we can't do anything about that. Now, this is Roisin Murphy. She's a singer, Nice looking girl. Now, I don't know much about her, but I don't follow too much. But I'm going to read what she says. Singer speaks out. This is an article in the Irish Daily Mail. Singer speaks out after 2 years after controversy. Roisin Murphy, I will never be the same again after backlash for criticising puberty blockers. Now, I often wonder, I just speak out about puberty blockers and people before profit puberty. I wonder, am I intellectually affected? I think I am. I don't know. I tell you the straight truth. I loved whiskey, and I'm getting it very hard to drink whiskey now. I think that's the effect of my campaigning. It goes on the way I go, and I won't be drinking at all. Oh, isn't that a nightmare? Right. Pop singer Roisin Murphy has said she will never fully recover from the backlash she faced after making remarks opposing puberty blockers for children. And puberty blockers, for those who don't know, is a chemical way of castrating boys. And if it doesn't work, they'll cut the genitals of the boys, they'll castrate them, and they'll cut the breasts of girls. That's fully supported by Fianna Fáil, Fine Gael and Sinn Féin, but they don't say it. But they only oppose it because it would lose them votes. If you take the Labour Party, fully for it. Vanna Banchik, fully for it. If you take Richard Boyle Carrot and all these, fully for it. Fully for it. And I think Catherine Connolly, the presidential candidate, is fully for it as well. Okay. To say I'll never be the same again is an understatement, the County Wicklow native wrote on X, formerly Twitter. You see, she's depending on the public to buy her product and that. And one of the things, supposing I'm a great singer, oh, Danny boy, oh, pipe star. Supposing I'm a great singer and I am popular. If I can sell 10,000 records of my Danny Boy song, if I can sell them, and I turn right wing or left wing, half of the people will turn against you. That's the thing about it. That's where people doesn't understand. If you're in the music business or any business where you have to impress the public, if you turn in favour of Trump, you're sickening the Biden faction. If you turn in favour of Biden, you're sickening the Trump faction. That's mathematics. That's mathematics, and not many people understand that. But then you see, I explained to you about my intellect and that, and I don't like bragging about it. I'll never be the same again after that. They can't get me cows. They can't take them off me. They never were as dear, So I'm laughing, but I live my life in a way. Don't forget, I was a policeman for 32 years, and I was a project manager in the local community council, and I had to keep everyone sweet there. I mean, you couldn't speak your mind. And then when I retired, I opened fire. That was it. That was the intelligent way to go about it. See, that again is the extra piece of intelligence. That's what I'm always telling you about. She wrote that she was asked by music journalists to apologise for her comments on puberty blockers, or else her album would face a drop in scores. The singer has alleged that the 2023 controversy led to lower review scores for her electronic pop album Hit Parade. Album Hit Parade. It wasn't just upsetting for me, but also very frightening to see how the whole of the music media in tandem were able to and willing to punish the work of art for the sake of activism, she wrote. You see, Roisin, you have to get the fame first. You have to get the money done. You have to shut up. And then when you get it, come out and give them the kick. As your man, what do you call him? Graham Linehan said about giving them the kick in the you-know-wheres. He got arrested in London. You have to know what you're doing. It's a pity not to pick my brain on these things. Get your album done, get it all sold, and then come out. Miss Murphy has also alleged that Hit Parade was left off journalists' end-of-year lists of best albums as a result. Wouldn't be one bit surprised. The entire media in to do with the arts is woke. The late, what do you call him? Ulick O'Connor was all the go on RTE and on Frank Hall, and suddenly the woke crowd took over. English lads took charge, or women, and he never saw the light of day again. He wrote several books on Irish artists. they shut you out. You see, they'd shut me out if they could. They did shut me off RTE, and Vincent Brown. Vincent Brown shut me out. The controversy occurred in 2023 over a comment that she made while using private Facebook account, which read, "Puberty blockers are fucked." She didn't write that here, but that's what she said. Fucked. Absolutely desolate. Big pharma, laughing all the way to the bank. Little mixed up kids are vulnerable and need to be very protected. That's just true. Sure, Elon Musk's son was a victim. This is an evil of a type never known. And every time a farmer goes in and votes Fianna Fáil or Fine Gael or Sinn Féin, you are doing this. You are doing it. You are driving the nails into the man himself, as the same as if you did it yourself. To promote the mutilation of children. And we see the Jeffrey Epstein fallout, and all the stuff is for that. Yes, he probably raped girls, I presume, but I presume young people were raped, young girls. I think that probably happened, and I think young boys probably too. And I wasn't in there, I don't know. But why is there such horror about penetrating a boy or a girl sexually and cutting their genitals off and cutting their breasts off? What? Hey, wait a minute now. And now I did an earlier video about Father Roy Donovan. Where does he stand on this? Come on here now. Puberty blockers are pills taken by transgender children. How do they know they're transgender? Who's telling them? Woke teachers. And the teacher that tries to correct them, like Enoch Burke, is jailed. There's fierce disgust in the country over that. For those of you who are disgusted at Enoch Burke, will you agree with me never to vote for the main parties again, ever? Will you go in and make an absolute commitment in your church or before somebody? Can we get a committee going like that people will commit never, under any circumstances? And I will now include the independents who are supporting them. They'd be castrating the boys if they could. It's an evil that's stuck in them. The old sultans long ago, and the old harem keepers in Arabia and in Morocco, and indeed in Central Europe, used to castrate slave boys. They'd go out and raid a village and take the boys out of it and castrate them and use them as concubines and use them to be with their harems and all that. And this is the very same thing. It's the use of power. Puberty blockers are pills taken by transgender children to stop them from coming into puberty. Her comments left some fans outraged. The dirty villains, some dirty rotten tramps of fans outraged. You dirty trampies. What kind of fans are you that you want them cutting off a girl's breasts? The blood dripping down, you dirty villain, you. Some call Miss Murphy's stance a betrayal of her previously support for LGBT community. Nobody is suggesting that if you're a parent there and you have a son or a daughter who feels that they're not the normal sexuality, there was a referendum held and you got your freedom to marry, go on with your life. Why does that move on to cutting the breasts of girls? How did supporting LBG and saying people should have a right to that? Don't forget, homosexuality among men was illegal and heavily punished up to 1995 by the Criminal Law Act. I don't remember completely, but 1935. It's an act in 1935. The Arklow-born singer has long held a reputation for embracing her gay fans by performing at LBG events, so she was meeting them halfway. Well, I'm sorry to say, I'm now coming around to the view you can't meet the gay people halfway. But I knew a few gay people because I'd be a sergeant interviewing people for crime, and some of these were victims of crime, and I always tried to see what they were thinking. And many of them told me they didn't like this, as to say the modern woke stuff is too much in your face. They wanted to be quietly homosexual. And that's what I discovered. I never met one that was blown about it. I wanted it the way it's wanted. Such as Homo Block and Mighty Hoopla, and also utilising drag culture in many of her live performances. So she was performing at LBG events such as Homo Block, Mighty Hoopla, and also utilising drag culture in many of her live performances. Miss Murphy added that she has been contacted by music journalists before the controversy who told her that her album was already album of the year. Right? I must try and hear it sometime. I didn't hear it. But she said after her comments surfaced, these same journalists told her to admit ignorance and apologise for or face a drop in scores. Mrs. Murphy criticised this approach for reviewing music, saying, "This is not journalism or criticism, it's authoritarianism." Well, welcome to the club. I'm afraid we've been here a long time before. In fact, when they have everyone battered down, if the God spares me health, when everyone's beaten by the authoritarians, the only one we're left above ground will be the farmer cows. So wait till you see, they'll knock everyone. They'll wait till they come here. And the farmer cows will be the last man standing. She singled out one review of the album in The Guardian. Props to The Guardian for not changing the 5-star score, but the piece itself is rotten to the core, she wrote. The review in question was praising the album, made consistent reference to the then outgoing controversy, calling it ignoramus, ending for one of the year's most anticipated albums. The reviewer Laura Snaps made a particular note that she had listened to a review of the album before the controversy writing. I first heard it in February and it had been playing it obsessively for a year, which makes writing this review a challenge on several levels. What I hear will never be what the general public hears now that the album has emerged into the world as a kind of collateral damage. Anyway, we can go on. While Mrs. Snaps praised the music, this is some critic. She consistently referred to the then going controversy, writing, "I totally disagree with Murphy's views and understand why for many fans, particularly queer fans, this album is DOA, dead on arrival." So there's the media. That's the media. That's the way it is. Remember again, when you sicken the wokes, you lose 40%. That's the way it is. It's political. In her statement on X, Miss Murphy noted that the album, which is 2 years old, was never again mentioned by The Guardian, saying, "I really hope one day that this changes." The Guardian, contacted by the Irish Daily Mail for comment. The Guardian was contacted by the Irish Daily Mail for comment, while the singer did make a statement at the time apologising for her harm caused by the controversy. You shouldn't apologise. I never apologise yet, because I think out what I'm saying. Fans noted that she never redacted the original comments. Her statement at the time read, "I cannot apologise enough for being the reason for this eruption." And she goes on apologising. Well, my answer to you, Miss Spoke and The Guardian, another left paper, and all you extreme LBGPQ is, you go to hell. Hump off with yourself. You old perverted whores. That's all you are. Now, DPP, come on. Send down the police. Come on, out here. Think I'm afraid of this crowd of fucking villains. Mad bastards. We have Trump. We have Vance. And we have Farage in England. And we have Le Pen in France. And we have the farmer cows here. It boils your blood. She can't make a record with these old corrupt, globalist, Marxist, corrupt villains. Look at them. They're running out of money in England. They're running out of money in France. And I'm laughing at them. I repeat, an ordinary gay person, do not take exception. In fact, you could vote for me in some circumstances, because this is nothing to do with the rights of LBGPQ. This is all to do with a globalist, cultural Marxist, communist agenda. And anyone that steps aside of it in Ireland will be nailed unless you're a farmer with cows. McGregor has pulled out of the presidential race, but he has still options politically in the future, and he needs to get onto me, and we need to confront these villains everywhere we can. My prophecies about energy have all come true, and we don't want this. The next thing, they'll conscript the youngsters in Ireland, and they'll put LBGPQ officers in charge of them with fishnet tights and artificial breasts, and they'll put them leading their fray, and they'll send them into their deaths fighting the Russians in Ukraine. Come off it, come off it. That's how extreme it is. Comment underneath, folks. What do you think? What do you think? That's her. It's ruined her. Like, this woke thing is dangerous, and you need to know what you're doing. I'm one of the best able to confront them. One of the best. Because they are not able to deal with me. They're afraid of their living life of me. Afraid of me. So that's it, Roisin. I can tell you that. If you're in anything, leave it to the farmers with cows. If you're in the arts, you can't afford to sicken even 10%. The profits on your work could be 10%. And if you sicken 10%, you lose that 10%. That's mathematics. That's mathematics. Comment underneath. We'll see you back soon. Bye.